Can I tempt you with Access episode 33? What's in it, you say? Funny you should ask. There's funny drawings and funny talkings as we visit the talent behind Frobisher Says. We put your questions to Medal of Honor Warfighter developer Danger Close, and all the hottest news in our PlayStation briefing. First up though, we're whipping our wands out for Magical Game of the Week, Sorcery. Historically, wizards' apprentices are rubbish and tend to spend their time doing unnatural things to sheep or causing demonic witch queens to slaughter peaceful townships rather than obediently learning the discipline of firing magical fashiz from sticks.
I wasn't doing that before.
And a good thing too, otherwise new fantasy adventure Sorcery would be about reading scrolls by candlelight rather than being Finn, whose powerful master is apparently awesome at magic but terrible at screening interviewees to make sure they won't accidentally endanger civilization. Also awesome at magic, it turns out, is the PlayStation Move motion controller, which Sorcery uses to make you feel like a genuine conjurer. I wish I could tell you who was dressed like that specially for the video. The controller becomes your wand. Flicking it left or right sends a bolt of arcane energy flying in that direction, while a raised arm aims at higher enemies and a saucy twist of the wrist curls shots around cover. The accuracy of the Move motion controller means it just works, unlike real magic. Like all real wizards, you also have a cat who's a secret elf princess, and your powers grow as you move through ever more dangerous lands, which means ice powers and a ground-shaking hero strike which comes in particularly handy against the game's many bosses. This is what happens if you throw rocks at us. Shazam, motherfucker! The game's at its worst when you can't get Finn to aim upwards, and it makes you want to wand everyone in the world to death. And when there are so many enemies on screen, it feels like you're shaking a combat maraca rather than wielding a magical thunderstick. But these are minor annoyances compared to the joy of doing over legions of orcish grunts and the immersion of the motion wanding. Sorcery is the finest PlayStation Move game yet, and a fine adventure to boot. Let's turn this pig into a giant rat to celebrate. Hooray!
This is fun!
Okay, Rob, you can stop now. Rob? Oh, Rob. Prepare to be informed as we round up all the news in our PlayStation briefing. We begin with an update on all things Access. Issue 3 of the beautiful Access magazine is out now, with a striking cover showing off the amazing entries into our Cover Star competition and a chat with winner Josiah Allen Lichmore inside. And speaking of winning, Lee Baker was among the lucky victors in our Sundance London competition. Lee got to see Tricky perform at the O2 during the recent film and music festival. And remember what we spoke about, Lee?
I watch Access TV almost every week sort of thing. If I miss it on PS3 in the week, I'll catch up a week on YouTube.
Good lad. In other news, we finally discovered who'd win a fight between Parappa the rapping dog and Sweet Tooth the flame-headed murder clown. The answer? Everyone! Because we all get a go on PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which sees PlayStation faces from Fat Princess to Kratos smashing it out in familiar stages. With more names to be announced at E3, here's hoping that Sackboy will be unzipping a world of hurt on Nathan Drake come release. And that's just about all. Oh wait, the biggest game of the year has been announced. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 has been revealed in a trailer sporting a mad old man, more explosions than the birth of the cosmos, and Total Recall X-Ray. We spoke to developer Treyarch in Los Angeles.
There's more significant choice events related that we're going to put you in as you're dropped into situations, very intense situations where you're going to have to make split-second decisions, and it's totally different gameplay.
Amazing! Mwah. It makes everything more exciting, doesn't it? Mwah. Mwah. And that was your PlayStation briefing. Mwah. Time for a rummage through the digital toy box now. It's the week's best on the store. Available today and bringing mystery, ambivalence and a big spooky forest to the PSN party is Datura, a download-only title that plonks you in the middle of this leafy landscape from where the story slowly unravels. You can use the PlayStation Move motion controller to manipulate your character's hands, plus you'll be faced with story-moulding choices along the way. Making a bone-shattering PS Vita debut this week is classic brawler series Mortal Kombat, looking better than ever on the gorgeous handheld and packing a bunch of sexy new features, like using the Vita's augmented reality capabilities to hack opponents into red chunks of failure on your street or in your office. The best bit though is punching a man so hard his face goes see-through, giving you the opportunity to say things like, "You're so transparent," as you send his frontal lobe through the top of his skull. If, like us, you're the type of gamer who likes to blame on-screen characters for your lack of thumb prowess, then we recommend Binary Domain, a Japanese third-person shooter available to download in its entirety today. As well as boasting a robust shooting engine, the game lets you order your squad mates about with a USB headset and naturally give them a rollicking if they make a pig's ear out of shooting robots.
Please, wait a moment!
We haven't got a moment. Fire now!
Can't get enough shooter action? Then why not give the playable demo for one Spec Ops: The Line a try? Set in a post-apocalyptic sand-ravaged Dubai, you play as Captain Martin Walker, one-third of an elite Delta Force squad sent in to eradicate a rogue US Army unit. The shooting is as lethal as a falling mountain of sand, plus it's got Access fave Nolan North on acting duty.
It's a message to the survivors. Don't f with us.
Nolan! This is a children's 18-rated show.
Yeah.
That's your lot from the store this week. Check back next time for more downloadable fun. This week we asked you for your questions about Medal of Honor Warfighter before putting them to Senior Creative Director Rich Farley. Craig Atkinson on our Facebook pages asks, how does the game benefit from having one developer doing the campaign and online modes?
That's a great question. You know, we really benefit from having everybody in one building, because now we're able to share the one creative vision. We were able to have features share across from multiplayer and single player, and really kind of have it feel like one cohesive piece of software.
Grandmaster J on Twitter asks, are snipers going to be easier to spot this time?
There was a little bit of a controversy around the snipers in the last one. I think we've got that one covered. We've been listening to feedback over the past couple of years on what people liked and didn't like about the last Medal of Honor, and we're definitely taking all those comments seriously and trying to address them wherever possible.
Finally, and best of all, Adrian Mules tweeted us to ask, when are you going to release a kart racing spin-off called Medal of Honor?
We're not talking about it this time, but that's a very awesome title. Medal of Honor.
Excellent. Thanks to Rich and everyone who submitted questions. We'll be asking developers more ridiculous things very soon. This week, Access All Areas comes from the home of Honeyslug, the London-based indie studio responsible for amazing PS Vita gem Frobisher Says. And look, it's the original plasticine models from Squash the Toffs. Rarely do we get this starstruck. After poking around the office for a bit, we invaded this quiet London pub with Honeyslug's Ricky Haggett and Dick Hogg.
Sony approached us and said, are you interested in speaking to us about the possibility of making a kind of showcase app for the Vita, and like partly that was like thinking about what the Vita can do, and just thinking about what you could do with rear touch and what you could do with the motion controls. But also, I was just thinking about Frobisher and his world. So Frobisher was this kind of like imaginary character that we had in the studio that told us to do naughty things. I kind of always had this idea in my head of him being like a kind of character, but you can't really tell whether he's a boy or a strange small man. A bit like Ronnie Corbett. Yeah, we kind of wrote, I don't know what you call it, like a pitch document, I guess. Yeah. Just with what the idea is and ideas about how it would work. I think we probably came up with about a third of the games for that doc. So my all-time favourite Frobisher game, which is Look Away, where you have to look away from the screen. And it's the best stuff in the whole game is what's happening on screen. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of having made a game where the coolest stuff happens when you're not allowed to look at the screen. I think one of the lessons about Frobisher is that if you tell people to do a silly thing, if you tell them to do it in the right way, there's a good chance that they'll do the silly thing. A friend of ours said, you do know that the touchscreen works as well with the tongue as it does with the finger. I was like, no, I didn't, but thank you for having that.
Frobisher says, lick this delicious ice cream.
You start licking the ice cream, and then inside the ice cream there's something.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
There's a little waving man. That's the spirit of the ice cream.
That'd be great.
He freed me.
Thanks, guys. Now we can never eat another Mr. Whippy. To see the full interview with Ricky and Dick, head to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PlayStation Access. Before we head off for another week, take a close look at this trailer footage for upcoming swords and sex RPG Game of Thrones. Pause! Recognise that grey bespectacled fellow? It's none other than George R.R. Martin, author of A Song of Ice and Fire, the series of fantasy novels on which Game of Thrones is based.
So we create a master and Master Martin, and you can speak with him. Shh, it's a secret.
Oh, okay. Good one on putting him in the trailer and calling him Meister Martin then. See you next week.